Research Methodology 1 Ethical Principles of Psychologists and Code of Conduct. General principles, as opposed to ethical standards, are aspirational in nature. They intend to guide and inspire psychologists toward the very highest ethical ideals of the profession. General principles, in contrast to ethical standards, do not represent obligation and should not form the basis for imposing sanctions. Relying upon general principles for either of these reasons distort both their meaning and the purpose. Principle A. Beneficence and non-maleficence psychologists strive to the benefit to those with whom they work and take care to do no harm. In their professional actions, psychologists seek to safeguard the welfare and rights of those with whom they interact professionally, and other affected persons, and the welfare of animal subjects of research. When the conflicts occur among psychologists' obligations or concerns, they attempt to resolve these conflicts in responsible fashion that avoids or minimizes harm. Because psychologists' scientific and professional judgment and action may affect the lives of others, they are alert to and guard against personal, financial, social, organizational, or political factors that may lead to misuse of their influence. Psychologists strive to be aware of possible effects of their own physical and mental health on their ability to help those with whom they work. Principle B. Fidelity and responsibility psychologists establish relationships of trust with those with whom they work. They are aware of their professional and scientific responsibilities to society and to the specific communities in which they work. Psychologists uphold professional standards of conduct, clarify their professional roles and obligations, accept appropriate responsibility for their behavior, and seek to manage conflict of interest that could lead to exploitation or harm. Psychologists consult with, refer to, or cooperate with the professionals and an institution to the extent need to serve the best interests of those with whom they work. They are concerned about the ethical compliance of their colleagues' scientific and professional conduct. Psychologists strive to contribute a portion of their professional time for little or no compensation or personal advantage. Principle C. Integrity psychologists seek to promote accuracy, honesty, and truthfulness in the science, teaching, and practice of psychology. In this activity, psychologists do not steal, cheat, or engage in fraud, subterfuge, or intentional misrepresentation of fact. Psychologists strive to keep their promises and to avoid unwise or unclear commitments in situations in which deception may be ethically justifiable to maximize benefits and minimize harm. Psychologists have a serious obligation to consider the need for the possible consequences of and the responsibility to correct any resulting mistrust or other harmful effects that arise from the use of such techniques. Principle D. Justice psychologists recognize that fairness and justice entitle all persons to access to and benefit from the contributions of psychology and to equal quality in the process, procedures, and service being conducted by psychologists. Psychologists exercise reasonable judgment and take precaution to ensure that their potential biases, the boundaries of their competence, and the limitation of their expertise do not lead to or condone injustice practice. Principle E. Respect for people's rights and dignity. Psychology respect the dignity and worth of all people and the rights of individuals to privacy, confidentiality, and self-determination. Psychologists are aware that special safeguards may be necessary to protect the rights and welfare of persons or communities whose vulnerabilities impair autonomous decision making. Psychologists are aware of and respect cultural, individual, and role differences, including those based on age, gender, gender identity, race, ethnicity, culture, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, disability, language, and socioeconomic status, and consider these factors when working with members of such groups. Psychology tries to eliminate the effect of their work on basis based on those factors, and they do not knowingly participate in or condone activities of others based upon such prejudices.